Okay, this is just a quick demonstration to show you how to prepare your artwork to be used by the laser cutter. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new Google presentation. I'm putting it into a folder where I know where it is so I can find it later if I need to. I'm going to rename the presentation. My computer is working a little bit slowly. I'm working on a laptop. Now, I'm going to change the shape of the slideshow. You go down to page setup. I can choose a custom shape and I'm going to use pixels. I'm going to make this 1000 by 1000 pixels. Hopefully that's a high enough resolution. Go ahead and apply it. So now I've got a square workspace. That's the shape I want this piece of art to be. And now I'm going to just upload the picture that I took with my smartphone. I've already downloaded onto my computer. And so I've got to look for it here. There it is. Now, it's not the right shape, and it's useful when you're working with the laser cutter to change things to be grayscale. The laser cutter either burns something or it doesn't. This is a negative space. That's not what I want. I'm going to go and change it to just recolor it. Here's light, which looks pretty good, but I'm going to use the dark setting. If you double click on an image, you can crop it. So you can change the crop lines. I'm going to crop everything out that I don't want to be part of my final artwork. Just going to go around to each one of the edges. You can also move from the corners. I can tell I need to crop in a little bit closer on the bottom because it's not quite straight. And now I'm gonna putting it in the corner. I'm holding on the shift key so that it stays the same shape. And there I've got my artwork. This is a collage that I made just using a magazine and some paper. Um, if you, I'm going to add a little bit of text here. So this time I've saved a little bit of space in my image to add text. I'm going the text to be pretty big. I'm going to make it white so that it stands out against that dark spot in the image. And this is midwife to the inner child. All right. That's pretty much how I want it to look. You can center the text if you select the whole box, and then you can choose that to center your text. And I'm using the arrow keys to nudge things. The arrow keys are very useful for moving around objects. Now, this is masking. You can change like a shape that's cut out. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to mask it. I'm going to change the background. Let's see, I'll try gray. I think I'm going to use black. Okay, in order to make the image just a little bit smaller, I'm going to click on it and this text, and I drag the corner while holding Shift and Option, and I just made the image a little bit smaller. Now, I decided the black was a little bit boring, so I'm going to search for a black and white pattern. and maybe I'm going to put a little pattern underneath it instead. So looking through these patterns, this one looks pretty cool. So because I can see it doesn't have the size of this one, I'm actually just going to pick a different one. That one's 1000 by 1000, same size as my image. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to save it to my computer. I'm just going to rename it pattern. And I'm going to go back to my slideshow. I'm going to add the image, upload it from my computer, and where did it go? I'm going to go to all my files. There I see it. I'm going to open that, and here it is. Now it's on top of everything else. If I hold the shift and the down key, I can move that down below. So I think that looks a little bit more interesting. In resizing my image, the text didn't fit, so I'm just going to straighten that out. Nudge it. Use the arrow keys. Make sure it's in the best place. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to add a border to this image. I'm going to change the border color to white. You can see a little white line. I'm going to change the width to 24. And that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to download it and save it to my computer so that I can upload it back to Google Drive to take it to the Lasercutter. There's my final artwork, and it's downloaded and it's ready to be used.